¿Qué tal amigos? Bienvenidos a un nuevo video en el canal. Estoy muy contento de estar nuevamente con todos ustedes. Ya vimos cómo Dick Durbin destrozó totalmente a Milwaukee. Ya hemos visto cómo terminó ayer con Jack Reed y Pam Bondi, pero Pam Bondi sigue, señores. Pam Bondi sigue. Ayer, pues vimos ese video totalmente que terminó muy caliente la cosa. Así que hoy vamos a ver cómo Jeff Merkley le va a decir a Pam Bondi que por qué estuvo Donald Trump con esas personas en ese tipo de eventos, ya que está insinuando Jeff Merkley que por qué está haciendo todo eso por Donald Trump, por qué lo está justificando tanto, o será acaso que lo está encubriendo de otros negocios personales de Donald Trump. Pues bueno, vamos a verlo. Quédense porque va a estar muy bueno el video y adelante con las imágenes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, Attorney General. And I'm sorry I wasn't here for the whole hearing, so it's been addressed, but I think you really are very sensitive to the possibility of foreign agents or foreign influence on our government and making sure that we make sure that doesn't happen.
Yes.
Yes. Uh, I want to know if when the president held his dinner for 220 individuals who purchased the most of his meme coins, were there foreign interests attending that dinner?
Senator, we're here to talk about the Department of Justice and my budget for the upcoming year. I would think that you would want to talk about the leader of the Sinaloa cartel who was living in Oregon, one of the top leaders. I would think that that's what you would want to talk about with me. When we captured him, he had $3 million cash in his home.
Attorney General, I know that you avoided the same question on the House side, but what we know is that many folks who attended this dinner were buying those coins because they wanted to influence U.S. policy. We had Mr. Javier Selgas, the head of Freight Technology, Inc., who said, I bought $2 million of these coins. I plan to buy $20 million because I want a favor from the president to change the policy regarding freight from Mexico to the United States. This solicitation of investments in his personal product, his meme coin, led to many people who were coming from foreign countries attending that dinner. Don't you think the American people have a right to know? And you said yourself you're very concerned about foreign influence on our government.
Senator, it is wildly offensive that you would accuse President Trump of not protecting American interests in our country when he is the president that has shut down our borders, unlike Joe Biden. President Trump has done everything to make America safe, and you asked me the question, and keep America safe.
Do you
and
know
you're trying to play a gotcha question at a budget hearing when you have murders left and right in your state, violent crimes, and we are doing everything we can to help your liberal state. Whether you're liberal or not, we're going to do everything we can to help the citizens of your state, and you're trying to avoid that because you're trying to play a gotcha question with the President of the United States, and it's not going to work. We're here to talk about our budget for public safety.
I do believe that as the leader of the Department of Justice, you should be concerned about foreign influence. There was obviously a lot of foreign influence and individuals who said they were there for that reason. And so will you appoint a special investigator to make sure that that foreign influence does not affect the policies of the United States of America?
I'm not going to tell you what I will or will not do, other than I will do everything to keep the people of your state safe, even though you don't want to talk about anything to do with your state because of the crime in your state. You also voted no on the Laken Riley Act. We are doing everything we can to protect the citizens of this country. You also said that President Trump encouraged protest. It was the opposite. He's done everything he can to keep us safe, and he will continue to, as well as the Department of Justice.
It speaks volumes that you won't answer the question about transparency when the president is asking people to invest in his company and his products, and that foreigners are attending these events. I think transparency would be appropriate. Are you going to recommend any ethics guidelines to make sure that foreign influence does not find its way in through the doors of the White House?
How do you characterize foreigners, the illegal aliens that have flowed into our country? Is that who you're talking about? You don't want to talk about them. You don't want to talk about the crime that has gone rampant throughout this country and your state.
Well, you know, these hearings are a chance for us to ask questions, and I assure you I'm engaged in national security in many, many ways. But this also I am concerned about. And let me turn to a different piece of the puzzle, because the president also has another cryptocurrency called USD1. It is a stable coin. There was a request by UAE to produce AI chips that would go to UAE. The National Security Advisor of UAE is also the CEO of MGX. So after that request for those chips occurred, MGX then said, we will buy 2 billion, billion with a B, of the president's coins. And then the president went to the Middle East and said, we will get you those AI chips. Does this sequence of events in which a foreign government asks for a big favor, and we had previously banned these chips to UAE because of the national security concerns. Then they buy $2 billion of the president's coins, and then the president goes to the Middle East and says, we will provide those chips. Does that sequence of events concern you about foreign influence on the United States of America?
The foreign influence on America that I would be concerned about if I were you was the Mexican national that resided in Oregon, who we just arrested, who had 384 pounds of methamphetamine. The foreign individual who I would be concerned about if I were a senator from Oregon is the Honduran drug trafficker who was residing in Portland for distributing fentanyl. The foreign national I would be concerned about if I was a Portland senator, an Oregon senator, is a Mexican national leader of a drug trafficking ring. Another one, fentanyl, firearms, fatal overdoses, all in your state.
You have made your point.
57,700 fentanyl pills and stolen firearms in Oregon. That's what we should work together on, not gotcha questions during a budget hearing.
Let me recognize Senator Merkley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The Attorney General certainly has made the point that she's very concerned about issues that I'm concerned about as well regarding the security of this country. But let the record note that in terms of foreign influence and the sale of foreign influence through the president's coins, she absolutely refuses to respond and instead turns to a whole list of different topics. I think it's important for the leader of the Justice Department of the United States to be very concerned about foreign influence, and I encourage you to take on that topic and not consider it an offense that those of us who are concerned here, Democrats and Republicans, want Americans to make American decisions, not foreign influence being bought through crypto coins.
Senator Murkowski.
Chairman.
¿Vieron, señores? ¿Se dieron cuenta de todo lo que pasó? ¿Vieron cómo Pam Bondi desvió o eso intentó hacer, desviar toda la atención? Empezó a hablar de los líderes del cártel de Sinaloa, empezó a hablar de sustancias prohibidas, empezó a hablar de artefactos para desvivir personas, habla de todo ese tipo de cosas. Pam Bondi responde absolutamente todo lo que no le preguntaron. Responde todo lo que no le preguntaron. Pam Bondi está queriendo desviar toda la atención de lo que el senador Merkley le preguntó inicialmente. Se hace ella la indignada, se hace la ofendida, empieza a poner inútilmente una presión en contra del senador Jeff Merkley, que le está poniendo pues se puede decir, como decimos aquí en México, le empieza a colgar ciertas medallitas que no le corresponden del todo al senador Merkley, porque el senador Merkley, pues sí, será de ese estado, pero él no es el que anda cuidando todas las calles, no es él el que mete las personas a la cárcel, no es él la persona que trae la inversión a su estado, no es él nada más. O sea, y entonces, ¿para qué está el gobierno federal si tan mal está ese estado? Entonces, bueno, ¿qué se supone que no es más el gobierno del presidente que un gobierno estatal? Pero bueno, independientemente de eso, vemos cómo Pam Bondi empieza a desviar toda la atención, porque si algo me dijeron las personas que saben son dos cosas. Aquí hay de dos sopas y esto le debe de concernir a la señora Pam Bondi, a la fiscal. Son dos cosas y muy simples. Uno, cuando no tienes argumentos, empiezas a desviar toda la atención y cuando no tienes argumentos, más bien, y cuando tú desvías la atención es porque vas a mentir. Y esto fue lo que pasó con la señora Pam Bondi, con la fiscal general de los Estados Unidos. Estamos viendo cómo se hace ella la ofendida, cómo empieza a hablar de un sinfín de cosas que si bien obviamente todas son importantes, no tiene absolutamente nada que ver con la pregunta que le hicieron originalmente, que ese es el motivo de este video. Pero bueno, para explicarles ya rápido de lo que trató ese tema de ese evento, cuando sacaron una criptomoneda supuestamente para apoyar a Donald Trump, pues supuestamente todo ese tema, pues muchas de esas personas perdieron mucho dinero y adivinen quiénes fueron los que resultaron ganadores y se supo con el tiempo. Así es, señores, la familia de Trump hizo caer esa moneda, todo ese dinero. Casualmente y mágicamente terminaron en las arcas de la familia Trump. Así que qué estaba haciendo Donald Trump en esos eventos, qué estaba haciendo Donald Trump con toda esa gente, qué se supone que hace Donald Trump si se supone que tiene que estar atendiendo a su población y se debe hacia los estadounidenses. ¿Y qué dice Pam Bondi? Pues hay que ocuparnos mejor en el ciudadano mexicano que estaba viviendo en Oregon y un sinfín de burradas que la verdad es, digo, por eso en algún momento, si es que se escuchó, me reí en el video porque, y el senador Jeff Merkley también se rió porque no es posible que esta persona esté evadiendo toda responsabilidad, esté evadiendo toda la realidad, pero bueno, eso es lo que está pasando con Van Bondi, señores. Así que hasta aquí el video, me encantó estar nuevamente con todos ustedes. Comenten qué les pareció este video, sin duda es muy polémico porque Pam Bondi no responde lo que le preguntan. Bueno, sí responde, pero no lo que le preguntan. Ella responde todo menos la pregunta original. Así que, bueno, hasta aquí el video, señores. Comenten qué les pareció este video. Me encantaría saber todas sus opiniones. Todos son bienvenidos. Suscríbanse, es totalmente gratis. Como les comento, es totalmente gratuito. Solamente es para que ustedes no se pierdan los videos que hay aquí en el canal. Así que cuidado con los videos que hay mañana porque van a estar sumamente picantes, eso se los aseguro. Así que bueno, les mando un abrazo y nos vemos en la siguiente. Bye bye.